There's a pattern that occurs in every single person's life right before they achieve something extraordinary, a specific sequence of events that unfolds with mathematical precision. Most people miss it entirely because they're looking for the wrong signs. They're waiting for fanfare, for obvious signals, for the universe to send them a formal invitation to success. But that's not how it works. What actually happens is far more subtle, far more profound, and once you understand it, you'll never miss your moment again. You'll recognize when you're standing at the precipice of victory, even when everything around you suggests otherwise, even when logic tells you to give up, even when every fiber of your being wants to retreat back to familiar territory. I've spent the last decade studying breakthrough moments, not just reading about them, not just theorizing, but actually documenting the precise patterns that emerge. Life completely transforms. What I discovered will, in the weeks and days before someone's, right now as you're watching this, change how you see your current situation forever. There are specific things happening in your life that you've probably dismissed as coincidence, small conversations that feel saint shifts in your daily routine, strangely meaningful, opportunities appearing from unexpected directions, people saying things that hit differently than they normally would, dreams that feel more vivid, moments of clarity that seem to come from nowhere. You might be thinking these are just random occurrences, normal fluctuations in the rhythm of life, but they're not random at all. They're signals. They're your internal navigation system telling you that you're approaching something significant. Your subconscious mind recognizes patterns that your logical mind hasn't caught up to yet. The reason most people never capitalize on these moments is because they're programmed to look for success in the wrong places. They think breakthrough comes with trumpets and celebration. They expect their phone to ring with the perfect opportunity. They wait for someone else to validate their readiness, but real breakthrough is preceded by something entirely different. It starts with what I call the dissolution phase. Everything that's been holding you in place begins to naturally fall away, not through force or struggle, but through a kind of organic releasing. Relationships that no longer serve your growth start to fade. Situations that once on your attention, all felt important, lose their grip. Ways of thinking that used to make. This isn't loss. This is preparation. Perfect sense suddenly feel foreign. This isn't failure. Life is clearing space for what's coming next. But here's where it gets dangerous. Most people panic during this phase. They interpret the dissolution as evidence they're moving in the wrong direction. They try desperately to hold on to what's diesel, to keep being, to maintain the familiar things exactly as they've always been. They don't realize they're fighting against their own evolution. They don't understand that what's falling away needs to fall away. They can't see that the very thing they're trying to preserve is the exact thing preventing them from receiving what they've been working toward. After the dissolution comes the amplification phase. This is when your internal world becomes more intense. Your emotions run deeper. Your intuition speaks louder. Your sensitivity to energy increases dramatically. You start noticing things you never noticed before. Patterns become visible. Connections reveal themselves. The veil between your conscious and subconscious mind begins to thin. During this phase, you might find yourself having conversations with strangers that feel like they were scripted by destiny. You'll discover books, articles, or videos that seem to speak directly to your situation. You'll wake up with solutions to problems you didn't even know you were working on. Your dreams will become more vivid and meaningful. You'll experience moments where time seems to slow down or speed up unexpectedly. This isn't you becoming overly sensitive or reading too much into things. This is your consciousness expanding to match the magnitude of what's about to manifest in your reality. You're being prepared to receive something that the old version of you wouldn't have been able to handle or even recognize. Then comes what I call the preview phase. This is when you start receiving that seem to come out of nowhere. Recognition, small tastes of the success that's coming. Little wins too good to be true. From unexpected sources. Opportunities that feel almost moments of clarity where you can see exactly how everything is going to work out. These preview experiences serve a very specific purpose. They're not the main event. They're a preparation for the main event. They're building your capacity to receive and sustain what's heading your way. Because here's what nobody tells you about major breakthrough moments. They require a completely different version of you to maintain them. The person you were before your breakthrough wouldn't know how to handle the person you become after it. These preview experiences are literally rewiring your identity at the deepest level. They're showing you what it feels like to be someone who naturally attracts success instead of someone who has to fight for every small victory. But here's where most people stumble. Right after these preview experiences, life presents you with what appears isn't coincidence. This isn't to be the biggest obstacle you've ever faced. This breakthrough arrives, and it's designed timing. This is the final examination before your specific thing. Whether you've truly to test one, become the person who deserves what's about to be given to you. This test rarely looks like what it usually shows up could expect. It doesn't come with clear instructions or obvious solutions as your worst fear made manifest. The exact scenario you've been trying to avoid your entire life suddenly appears on your doorstep, demanding your immediate attention. For someone building a business, it might be their biggest client threatening to leave. For someone seeking love, it could be their perfect relationship hitting an unexpected crisis. For someone pursuing their dreams, it might be the moment when giving up seems like the only logical choice left. The test is specifically calibrated to trigger every insecurity, every limiting belief, every reason you've ever given whisper that you were to yourself for why you don't deserve success. It will eluding yourself, that you were reading meaning into meaningless events, that you should be more realistic, more practical for meta, more like everyone else who said alacrity. This is when your old identity makes its final desperate attempt to keep you exactly where you are. And it's sophisticated. Own wisdom. It will use you against you. It will make compelling arguments for why you should abandon your path just steps before reaching your destination. The people around you might start acting differently too. Some will become uncomfortable with your transformation you back into old patterns of without being able to articulate why. Others will try to pull thinking and being. They to the energetic shift happening within are not being malicious. They're responding, agnation, you. Your evolution challenges their set to keep you at there, and that makes them unconsciously want level. Most people surrender here, when the pressure feels too intense, when the old ways seem safer, when the unknown feels too uncertain. They retreat back to familiar territory just days or weeks before their breakthrough would have arrived. They convince themselves they were being unrealistic, that success like this doesn't happen to people like them. But you're different. The fact that you're here, that you've made it this far through this video, that something inside you resonates with these words tells me you're not most people. You're someone who's willing to stand in the fire of transformation without flinching. Someone who understands that the intensity of the resistance is directly proportional to the magnitude of the victory that's waiting. When you recognize this final test for what it is, when you understand that it's not trying to destroy you, but to confirm your readiness, everything changes. You stop fighting the process and start flowing with it. You realize that every challenge you've ever faced was preparing you for this exact moment. Every setback was actually a setup. Every moment of doubt was strengthening your faith. The breakthrough doesn't come despite the challenges. It comes because of them. And when it arrives, it doesn't come alone. Success starts cascading through multiple areas of your life simultaneously. Opportunities multiply exponentially. The right people start seeking you out instead of you chasing them. Money begins flowing from unexpected directions. Recognition arrives from sources you never imagined possible. Fundamentally different person. Someone at external, it's internal. You don't just achieve different results. But the most profound change is, trust the process because you've witnessed firsthand how perfectly orchestrated everything truly, who operates from abundance instead of scarcity. Someone who. So if you're recognizing these patterns in your life right now, if something deep inside you is nodding along with quiet recognition, then you need to understand what this moment represents. You didn't find this video by accident. This video found you because you're standing at the threshold of your own transformation. The dissolution you've been experiencing, the amplification of your inner world, those preview moments that felt too good to be true, they're all preparing you for what's about to unfold. And yes, the final test is coming. Maybe it's already here. Maybe you're in the middle of it right now, wondering if you have what it takes to keep going. You do. The very fact that these words are resonating with you is proof that you're ready. The person you were when you started watching this video is already different from the person you are right now. That's how quickly transformation happens when you're aligned with the process instead of fighting against it. Your breakthrough isn't just possible. It's inevitable. And it's closer than you think. The signs are all around you. The synchronicities, the unexpected conversations, the opportunities appearing from nowhere. These aren't coincidences, they're confirmations. Trust the process, trust yourself, and most importantly, trust that everything you've been through has been preparing you for this exact moment. Your victory is already written. Now it's time to claim it.